What up, what up, what up, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and you're watching Land Boxing Talk, Red Room Sports. But we definitely not in the Red Room today. So, I just been moving around, man, moving and shaking. And I wanted to make sure I get these videos out, so I'm just drop them wherever I get the ideas, that's where I'm going to drop them at. So, man, we downtown, Louisville, Kentucky, man. I like to come down here and just chill out and think, man. Uh, just get my head right. But today's topic is going to be: should Manny Pacquiao retire if he beats Errol Spence Jr.? All right, y'all. So I think what's on most Manny Pacquiao fans' minds is a big fight. Hopefully a big victory if he can beat Spence. And I think what's on most Manny Pacquiao detractors or haters, whatever you want to call them, mind is uh, much longer is Manny Pacquiao going to be around? Because a lot of people fear Pacquiao because they feel like he has their favorite fighter's number, i.e. guys like Terence, Crawford, Mayweather. Uh, Even though people feel how they feel about the first Mayweather fight, but I think the biggest topic should be for Pacquiao fans is, what does Pacquiao actually go after this fight, win or lose? If he wins, more power to him. It's going to make him once again the biggest name in boxing, even though he already has you can't even measure his accolades really in the sport of boxing. So his name is already huge. But if he beats Errol Spence Jr., it's gonna, here's one thing that surprised me. He didn't get a lot of credit in my mind for beating Keith Thurman, who was supposed to be the number 3 guy at the time. It was supposed to be like Spence or Crawford at number 1, or however you want to see. It could have been Spence number 1, Crawford 2, Thurman 3, or it could have been Crawford 1, Spence 2, Thurman 3, Pacquiao like 4 or 5, something like that. But Pacquiao beat the number 3 guy. If you want to put him in number 3, some people had him ranked higher than Spence and Crawford before Pacquiao beat him. I don't think he gets a lot of credit for even beating Keith Thurman. But I think he would definitely get a lot of credit for beating Errol Spence Jr. And I think it would not only catapult his name back up into the upper echelon of boxing, but it would probably make him the number 1 fighter in recent history. We're talking about the last 20 to maybe even 30 years worth of boxing. And my question to the Cardinal Red, Land, Red Room Sports community, Pacquiao, Team Pacquiao community is: what should Pacquiao do after this fight? Should he, if he wins, let's start off with if he wins. If he wins, should he pursue a Terence Crawford fight? Or if there's some type of rematch clause, should he actually rematch Earl Spence Jr.? Or should he just say, you know what, I beat the number 1 guy out there. He has all the belts, the majority of the belts. I became a unified champion of the world again at 40 some odd years of age. I'm about to become the president of the Philippines. It's time to retire. Do you think he should go that route, or do you think he should go, well, I beat Spence, there's a rematch clause, I'm gonna give him his rematch, and we're gonna do this again at some point in 2022, or maybe at the end of 2021, going into 2022. We're gonna have a rematch? Or should he be pursuing that Terence Crawford fight? Like, hey, which is going to really muddy up that Terence Crawford fight in my mind, because if you already turned down $10 million out of a $50 million purse that was supposedly a $50 million purse, Pacquiao gets 40, Crawford gets 10. What do you think you're going to get if Pacquiao actually beats and pulls this fight off? You think you're going to get more than $10 million? Do you think they're even going to offer you $10 million at that point? Is Crawford, that's another question, is Crawford, man, I'm talking. I get to talking. I got the dry mouth. If Pacquiao beats Spence, is that Crawford fight still worth $10 million, or can Pacquiao now say, hey, that $50 million purse is still out there? Which is, I think, a reason why those investors might have backed off a little bit of that $50 million. They want to put Pacquiao out. It's been 2 years almost. They want to put Pacquiao out there and see if he's still worth that 50 million. In my mind, and that's probably the reason that that Crawford fight didn't pan out. Even though they said the money was already there, but and if he beats Spence, does he is he deserving of $45 million at that point, and Crawford only gets five? It throws a monkey wrench to me and everything Crawford was trying to do if Pacquiao wins this fight. So to me, I'm asking the question too. So if Pacquiao beats Spence and doesn't pursue a rematch, or there's no rematch clause, and he moves straight into a Crawford fight, does Crawford still deserve that $10 million purse that was offered at first, or should Pacquiao be trying to negotiate that down and trying to get him a higher cut of the purse? And then the other scenario would be if there's a rematch clause, should he, like I said at first, either fight Spence again or just say, hey, I'm going to retire as a unified champion of the world and go run for the presidency of the Philippines? Those are my questions to you guys. Me personally, I feel like this. If he beats Spence convincingly, and I mean like in the fashion that he beat Keith Thurman with scores of knockdown, or is just up really big in the scorecards, then I feel like he should, if there is a rematch clause, go ahead and fight the rematch. But if he has some type of clause in there as well that he can fight someone before he fights or rematches Spence, which I'm pretty sure that's not in there, because a rematch clause is solely if you still hold those belts. So it would be difficult for him to say, hey, well, I'll give you a rematch if I get to fight Crawford first. Because if you lose to Crawford, there is no rematch. There's no need for a rematch because you won't have the belts anymore. So, me personally, I feel like if he beats Spence, if there's no rematch clause, he should definitely jump straight into that Crawford fight, get it over with, win or lose. It's gonna bring him so much more publicity for his presidential campaign. It's gonna be ridiculous. The amount of publicity he's gonna get off a Spence win is gonna be ridiculous. But the amount of publicity he would get off of a Spence win and going into a Crawford fight would be astronomical. Can it play out like that? I really don't know personally. I don't, my best case scenario right now is just to get through this Spence fight. It's not even to think about the future. I can't imagine what Pacquiao's actually thinking at this point. Like, are you still thinking like, hey, if I beat Spence, I can pursue boxing and run for the presidency? Or are you thinking, hey, Spence is my last hurrah. Crawford doesn't want, and Bob don't want to risk it. I don't want to keep wasting my time with those guys. Let me make this my last hurrah, because besides Spence and Crawford, there are no more names other than the Mayweather fight worth Pacquiao even pursuing at this point. So if he beats Spence, to me, I think that opens the door for the Crawford fight, but it kind of shuts the door at the same time, because if he already turned down $10 million to fight Pacquiao, I just don't see Pacquiao beating Spence and then offering him that $10 million again. I don't see that happening. I think it's going to end up in a situation where Pacquiao, if he wins, is going to command $45 million at that point. Hey, give me 50, give me all of it, and y'all work out what y'all going to give Terence Crawford behind, because I don't care. I want the biggest slice of the pie. He deserves it because he'll be unified champion at that point. So let me know what y'all think about all that. Do y'all feel like Pacquiao, as long as he wins, he should keep going? Do y'all feel like, if he wins, he should retire? Do y'all feel like if he wins, he should fight Crawford then retire? If he wins, he should fight rematch Spence then retire? I mean, what comes after this fight? Because one thing is to be said. There's a lot of people that say Pacquiao's holding up the division. In a lot of ways, he is, because with him just being around and winning and beating guys, it's altering what people had planned for the future, and it's altering people's careers. Like he could have very possibly ended Keith Thurman's career. We don't know where the F is Keith Thurman. So, he alters guys' careers, and he makes guys disappear. Think about how many fighters Pacquiao has retired? How many guys stopped fighting after they fought Pacquiao? Whether it was the first time or the second time they fought him. It's going to be very interesting, the ripple effect that this Pacquiao Spence fight has on the sport of boxing. Let me know what y'all think about that down in the comment section. What's going to be the ripple effect? I might rename it to the ripple effect of Spence, Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence Jr. The ripple effect. I might end up naming it that. So let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Should he retire? Should he fight Crawford? Should he fight Spence again? Should he just focus on politics? Is that enough for you guys? I think if he beats Spence and becomes unified, that's enough for me, man. But if I get more, I'll be nothing but happy, man. I love to talk about it, man. It's good to be back. Definitely going to be dropping a lot of videos. Hit that like button for me. Please subscribe. Tell a friend, a dog, a cat, auntie, uncle, anybody you know about Ollie Land Boxing Talk, Cardinal Red, and Red Room Sports. If y'all got anything else y'all want me to talk about, any other sports, man, tap in the comment section. Let me know what y'all want to talk about, and I'm definitely going to be on it. And I'll be doing some lives here soon, man, so get ready for that, too. It's your boy, Cardinal Red, downtown Louisville, Kentucky, man. Come holler at your boy. We out of here.